Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my kitchen. We're doing a what I eat in a week. If you didn't watch the last video, then go check that out first because I did my meal plan, my shopping, my pantry essentials, like how I organise what I'm going to eat in the week and how I make that feasible. And today is the follow-up where I'm going to show you what I'm eating this week from that shopping list. The way I eat to stay vegan, to cook from scratch, to eat whole foods, to make it realistic. So we're starting with a vegan omelette for breakfast. It's in my cookbook, Make It Vegan, and I make this all the time. It's essentially a besan chilla, which is a staple in Indian cooking. So it's a chickpea pancake, but it kind of has an omelette effect if you use kala namak, which is black salt, which is two things I think that you should try and grab in your pantry if you can, if you want to go vegan, if you're doing veganuary, if you want to eat more vegan food. Chickpea flour and black salt are really, really great ingredients to have. It's so simple to make. You literally just mix up the chickpea flour with some water, some seasoning, nutritional yeast, the black salt, and then you fry it up like you would an omelette with your favourite vegetables. So that's what we're going to do today. And it's a delicious breakfast, it's high in protein and it's very simple, so let's get cooking. We'll start with 30 grams or quarter of a cup of chickpea or gram flour, a tablespoon of nutritional yeast, a quarter of a teaspoon of kala namak or black salt for that eggy taste, black pepper, and then gradually whisk in 75 ml or 5 tablespoons of water until smooth. Add a dash of olive oil over medium heat and then pour in your chickpea flour mixture and swirl it around. Fry on this side until golden brown. You'll know it's done when the edges start to come away and bubbles start to form on the top, around 4 to 6 minutes. So you can see it sliding around now, it's starting to come loose. You can have a little peek and see how ready it is. This is very nearly done, just want it a bit more brown. So now it's ready to flip. You can be risky and flip it with the pan, or you can be safe like me and use a spatula. See, it's nice and golden. Look at that lovely colour. It's almost like I put turmeric in it. It's such a beautiful colour. Now is when we can add our vegetables. I've got red pepper, tomatoes and parsley. Spinach would also be great. I'm also going to add a sprinkling of vegan cheese. This is the Cathedral City plant-based. And then you can fold your omelette in half and it should look beautiful and golden brown. And then just fry this until your cheese is melted if you're using it and your vegetables are cooked. Look at that. Oh my God. I'm so excited to eat this. It's kind of like a pancake, but with the black salt, it makes it eggy. I often like to sprinkle a little extra of the black salt on top, just because when you cook with it, the taste does die down. Like when you first use it, you're gonna be like, whoa, that smells like sulfur. But it does die down a little bit. It's such a great way to get veg in as well in the morning. What a delicious breakfast. It's lunchtime. If you watched my previous video, you saw that Green Chef was delivered, and I'm a big fan of Green Chef. I've talked about them so many times because it's so convenient. If you're someone who struggles with the whole process of meal planning, food waste, making sure you're cooking a lot from scratch, trying to eat more wholesome recipes, vegan recipes, that kind of thing, then Green Chef could be the way to go, just to kind of introduce you to meal prepping, to vegan diets or vegetarian diet. And I just find it a lifesaver. If those days come along where you just can't be bothered to think about what you're having, then I have a Green Chef recipe ready to go and I just follow the recipe card and I don't have to think about it. It just is very mindless and very easy and very simple. And I've never had to make the same thing twice as well. I'm always very excited to make my Green Chef order because they always have different recipes. They have 22 new recipes every week and there's always something exciting to make. So today for lunch, we're making the spiced tofu and udon curry soup, which only takes 20 to 25 minutes. And it's also got all the nutritional information there, which is really helpful. And yeah, it looks absolutely delicious. So basically it comes in this big box and then it comes all packaged out. The other ones are in the fridge. I've already unboxed it. And then you have your recipe cards and then you have your individual ingredients. And the great thing about that is you have exactly the right amount that you need. So you've got all your fresh ingredients like a red pepper, a carrot, garlic, and you don't have to worry about food waste. And it's just far more sustainable and simple than buying the ingredients and never using them again. So it's really fun, especially for like random ingredients that you don't use a lot of. So sometimes there'll be like spice mixes or condiments that I won't use again, and they just give you the right amount, which is perfect. If you want to give Green Chef a try, then I'll leave a link down below. You get 40% off your first box, and then you get 25% off your next 4 boxes, which is an epic saving, so you can give it a try for yourself. The cool thing I also like is that they don't just tell you chop the red pepper, they actually also give you instructions on how to do it. And then make this into nice ribbons. Look at that. That looks insane. This looks so good. Oh my gosh. So let's try this. Let's eat this tofu first. Oh my God, that's so yummy. Dig into these noodles. I love an udon noodle. This is peak risky, me eating this with a white top on. Another thing that I love about Green Chef, not to harp on, but it does remind me to cook things in different ways. So chopping the tofu like that isn't something I do very often. So it kind of gives you new ideas. So go check out the link so you can get 40% off your first box and then 25% off your next 4 boxes. It's a fabulous deal and I think you'll love it. So go check Green Chef out. Good evening. We are making from the Zeka Vegan Recipes from India by Romy Gill, chana dal and the roti. So we have to just prep both of those. So we've got to soak the chana dal first. I'll measure it out and soak it in water. It says for half an hour. And then the roti, you just have to knead the dough and get that ready and let it set for half an hour too, I think. And then we can cook the dal. So it's quite straightforward, really easy recipes, but you just have to prep them. So we'll do that first. $1.50 wholemeal, 50 plain. Perfect. And then a pinch of salt. And then we need 75 ml of lukewarm water and 1 teaspoon of sunflower oil. Okay, so you have to make a well in the middle. So the water goes into the well and then a teaspoon of sunflower oil. So we need to mix it together and knead it for 5 to 8 minutes. Does seem a little dry, doesn't it? We did just add a bit more water because it is a bit dry. Okay, this has been a bit of a faff to do, but that'll do. So we're gonna let that rest. Been half an hour, so time to make little balls, and then I think you just fry it, right?
What does that look like? Parsnips.
Looks like a fortune cookie.
When do you get fortune cookies?
I don't know, just look like one.
Like a pizza.
What, do you roll them out and press them out? 3mm thick pancakes.
Yeah.
Oh my God, what is he doing? But yeah, if you've got any tips, but yeah, give me your tips if you've got them. If you're Indian, or you love Indian cooking, or you've made roti before. We have our little stack of roti, which I definitely got more of the hang of at the end to let it puff up. Got our chana dal, and then our bowls ready to go, and non-alcoholic beers ready to go.
Yup.
And that was really fun. That's delicious. I wish we doubled it because we won't, I don't know that we're gonna have any tomorrow. We were supposed to have that for leftovers tomorrow for lunch.
You see, it's just like dipping bread in your soup.
Yeah, delicious. We're watching Southern Charm. Fire is on. We gave that dinner a 10 out of 10. We were so proud of ourselves. We cooked together and it was delicious. And I'm now having this, which if you haven't tried these vegan chocolate bars, buttermilk, caramel, nougat, chocky bar. We don't even want to know what I just edited out then.
Just leave it in.
No. It's so good. It tastes like a Mars bar, doesn't it?
Excellent.
It's amazing.
I don't know how they've done it.
Good morning. We're making a baked one-pan scramble for breakfast. I'm going to double my recipe. This is from my cookbook because I want it to last until tomorrow. So this is basically a different take on a tofu scramble that you bake in the oven just to save you having to cook on the hob, and it just makes it that little bit simpler. You can throw in whatever veg you like. I'm going to throw in some tomato and spinach and an onion. It's got some nice seasoning in there and it's very easy and very delicious and full of protein. So let's get straight to it. Into a gratin dish, add onion, chopped tomatoes halved. This is around 10. And 2 blocks of tofu. I am doubling this recipe as meal prep. And you crumble this in with your hands. There's no need to press the tofu beforehand. And then tear in a large handful of spinach. And now we can add in our spices, starting with a teaspoon of turmeric, a teaspoon of paprika, and a teaspoon of cumin, around 2 tablespoons of soy sauce, around 4 tablespoons of unsweetened non-dairy milk, season with salt and pepper, and then mix it all together. You can sprinkle the top with breadcrumbs and some nutritional yeast, and then our secret ingredient of black salt, which will give the eggy flavour. Then drizzle with olive oil. Bake in the oven for 25 to 30 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius until golden brown. Ignore my washing hanging, it's always hanging. But I'd forgotten how good this is. It's actually really different to when you make tofu scramble usually. Scramble. The spices make all of the difference. The breadcrumbs on top is like a nice twist on having it on toast. It's just a different change and I find it really convenient for meal prepping. If you're trying to eat high protein and grow muscle, if you do a lot of sport and you're vegan or you're trying to eat more vegan food, then this is a great option because you can just make a big batch of it and then have it for breakfast and you've got loads of protein in there. Plus you get loads of plants, vegetables, spices, they're so good for you. I just love the mixture of flavour in there. So I'm gonna help myself to another little portion of it and get started with my day.
I'm doing a gardener's pie and I'm boiling a sweet potato with the other potatoes because we don't have enough regular potatoes, but the sweet potato floats. Is that because it's gone off? Like an, you know, different eggs float? Or is it just because it's a different potato? I don't think I've ever seen that.
Oh, it smells so good. Ali, it smells like heaven on earth.
Open air, side by side we sway there in all the colors. Summer love, lonesome dove, folded on the lawn chair in all the colors. Summer love,
Here we go.
For me, that kind of like made it.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for this.
There was a man.
How do I eat
There
it?
was a man involved.
Hands. Bit hot.
Good morning, it's Monday and I'm going to make some porridge. I do have a recipe for porridge, like ultimate porridge in my cookbook. I think a lot of people don't like porridge because they're not making it properly. The key is to cook it slowly over a low to medium heat. Keep stirring it and you can add more liquid to make it more creamy and cook it for longer. And use rolled oats, not rolled oats, sorry, like porridge oats. I know lots of people talk about the benefits, health benefits of rolled oats. But I just think you're like picking at straws if you're thinking that way. I mean, unless there's a health issue you have. I'm not a doctor, but that's just my opinion, the way I approach it. I think if you're eating a bowl of porridge, you're doing just fine. So I use porridge oats and yeah, cook it over a low medium heat, and then you can have whatever toppings you like. Here we go, the beautiful porridge, and a very in-depth detailed description of how to do it, because I wanted to have some recipes like this in the cookbook where you're going to take something away and learn how to cook something properly and then adapt it in the future rather than just a standalone recipe. I feel like this will teach you how to make porridge, and then you can make it in hundreds of ways in the way you enjoy. So yes, I'm gonna see what we've got in the freezer and use that for fruit today. Or we might have some fruit like pears, I think. Here is my delicious porridge. It is a little overcooked, I will admit, because I had to send an email quickly because it's the start of the day and I was like, I need to send that first thing, but let's give it a go. I really recommend you try the berry compote with frozen berries, blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, mixed berries, whatever, and you just cook it with a splash of water, maple syrup, chia seeds, and it makes this delicious compote kind of berry jam. It works so well on top of porridge, it's just delicious. So Alex has just made the most epic loaf of bread ever. He did it in a Dutch oven, and look at that crisp. Is this just normal flour? It's not sourdough.
It was half plain, half strong.
Look at that. Oh boy. Well, I'm gonna have to have that for lunch now.
No, sorry.
My stomach is rumbling. I look like a school teacher. Look at me.
Cardigan.
The turtleneck and the cardigan. So with the bread in mind, I'm gonna make pea and mint soup because we've got loads of potatoes and we've got a big bag of peas, which means we can use the rest for the paella. Loads of mint, got a mint plant, so it's just like one of those kind of cupboard food things that we can make really rapidly. I'll try and just put you on a time lapse and describe what I'm doing, mainly because I'm starving and I just want to eat. Comfort in a bowl. Oh, just doesn't get better than that. Can you honestly beat homemade soup and homemade bread? Alex was actually in the middle of doing some carpet cleaning, so he couldn't have this picturesque little soup lunch with me, but he's gonna come and have it in a second. I set it all up and he was like, I'm really sorry, but I'm literally just drying something, and if I leave it, it will stain because I was marking the carpet. But this is just the dream. Homemade soup and homemade bread. This bread is so delicious. It's definitely his best one. And this soup was from my original cookbook, Versatile Vegan, and it's just a classic pea and mint soup that I've made for years. And that was a 10 out of 10 lunch. What's your review?
Bread is good. This is actually really, really nice.
Look how green it is. The key to keeping it this green, if you're wondering, is to chuck the peas in and just bring it to a boil, and don't cook it for any longer than that. I think some people put the peas in and cook it for like 5-10 minutes after that. Do not do that. Peas don't need long, they just need to thaw. So as soon as the soup is boiling, it's ready, and then you can blend it and it comes out beautiful and green like this. Also the quantity of peas, this has got 450 grams of peas, so that's good. We are having another green chef this evening because my friend Fran's coming over, and Alex doesn't love mushrooms. I thought it was a good time to make this recipe. We've got these meaty slow braised mushrooms from a brand called Fable, which looks cool. We've got some whole wheat linguine and lots of nice things, so I'm just gonna get everything prepped because she's coming over so we can watch Love Island, which I'm really looking forward to. And this should be tasty. have our ragu cooking, our breadcrumbs, pasta ready to go, plates on top of the Aga, nice and warm. And then I've just made a nice little romantic date for me and Fran. I don't do this for me and Alex, and it's made me realise I should, because I get so much enjoyment. I was just sort of twiddling my thumbs and I was like, oh, I'll make the table nice. We've got our bread, candle, got some olive oil and balsamic, nice side salad, some parmesan, salt and pepper, olive oil. I don't know why I don't do this more often, because it's a nice thing to do. I think I should do this for me and Al at least once a week, you know, for like a little date night. Thank you. Green Chef number 3. Oh my god. This looks so good. Was it easy to make?
Yes.
So cool. Well, this is a dreamy mushroom day, isn't it? Alex is making my shortbread recipe. So what we're gonna do first, we're whisking the butter, vanilla, and sugar. Then we're gonna stir in our flour and orange zest, and then the chocolate to make it a dough. And then we've gotta chill it and then cut it up. Make it
Confused, it's very badly written.
You've been waiting, brewing that one in your mind.
That's what you get.
Alex has made some delicious shortbreads. Let's put them in the light, actually. And there's some more in the oven. Yummy. I'm not feeling very well today, that's why I'm not really on camera. This loaf of bread Alex made last night, and then the recipe is in my cookbook, but he put it in a Dutch oven. So if you want to follow the recipe in my cookbook, but look up a Dutch oven recipe. What did you do? Did you just heat up the Dutch oven beforehand?
When I turned the oven on to heat it up, I just put the thing in with it to heat up. So by the time the oven was heated up,
and you did everything else the same?
Yes.
And I think he moulded it in one of these little, yeah, this. One of these, which you can get online and put flour in it, it creates those nice patterns. But the basic recipe is in my cookbook, and if you've got like a large Le Creuset pan or other pan, then it really helps it to crisp up.
Yeah. You wouldn't need to do it in that thing, you could just shape it into a ball.
And then do you take off the lid at the last bit to make it crispy?
Oh no, I forgot to do that. You are supposed to do that. It recommends that, but I just...
Yeah. Well, it looks 10 out of 10. Under there is some toast, which you can't really see, but that's a delicious, high protein, very filling breakfast with my cup of coffee. Okay, so for lunch today we're having the sesame, ginger and mint noodle salad from my cookbook, and we're gonna have it with some tempeh. It's the sort of thing that you can have as a side salad. You could have it on its own, or you could add some extra protein with tempeh or tofu, which is what I'm gonna do because I grabbed that the other day. And actually Holland & Barrett sent me a veganuary package because I think they've introduced lots of their own new range of things, which includes tempeh, and they had some really nice pasta sauce and some snacks and stuff, so that's quite cool. So if you are doing veganuary or you've gone vegan recently, then definitely go check out Holland & Barrett because they're in most high streets. It's really, really high in protein, it's high in fibre, it's got so many good nutrients in there. Fermented food is just so good for you, and it's very versatile. So give it a go if you haven't tried it before, and if you don't like it, then try tofu instead. This is very easy, it takes like 10 minutes, essentially just cook the noodles, and then you make the cucumber and carrot into ribbons, and it's got a delicious dressing to go with it. This is something that Alex adores, and it's very easy and adaptable. So first we're going to put our noodles on to cook. I'm using udon noodles, or you can use soba noodles, and I love both of these for this dish. Cook them for around 8 to 10 minutes in boiling water, and then once they're cooked you're going to rinse them under cold water. While your noodles are cooking, thinly slice 1/4 of a red cabbage. And now we're going to create some ribbons with our carrot. You can just use a vegetable peeler for this, and it does actually help to have a larger carrot. This is quite small, so it makes it a little bit trickier, and we're going to create nice long ribbons with our cucumber as well. And if you're feeling lazy, you don't have to do the ribbons, you can just do the cucumber and carrot in a grater. Now these vegetables can go in a nice big bowl for mixing, along with our noodles, which have cooked and been rinsed thoroughly in cold water. This is the key for your noodles to tasting good. Lots of people say they can't get their noodles like when I cook with noodles. You need to rinse them thoroughly in cold water, and then they will have that lovely slimy texture. It's basically just getting rid of all that starch. We're also going to add a sprig of chopped mint and a handful of chopped coriander and 2 sliced spring onions. And finally 2 tablespoons of sesame seeds. And then we can mix all of this together. As you can see, the texture of tempeh is different to tofu. It's got those soybeans. It is seriously delicious and I really recommend you give it a taste. So I'm just gonna cut them like this. So we've got some nice little discs. Pop it in a bowl and then I'm just gonna drizzle in some soy sauce, some maple syrup, just a touch, a dash of sesame oil, and some hot sauce. I just got sent some Tabasco and I love that their ingredients are so simple. So I'm gonna throw a bit of this in here, but whatever hot sauce you like. And then just coat all of those. Add a dash of oil to a frying pan. Let that heat up and then we'll just fry our tempeh in there for about 10 minutes until golden brown on both sides. Meanwhile, we can make our dressing, and a nice little hack is use a jar because then you can just shake it at the end to mix it all together. 3 tablespoons of hulled tahini. The hulled stuff is the paler and runnier tahini. A tablespoon of soy sauce, a teaspoon of maple syrup, 2 teaspoons of toasted sesame oil, around a thumb-sized piece of ginger, and my hack is to freeze it and use a microplane. Saves you so much effort. The zest and juice of a lime, a pinch of chili flakes, and 1 garlic clove, finely chopped, or you can mince it like I do with a little garlic press. And then 2 tablespoons of water, pop the lid on and give it a good shake. And there you have your dressing. So I can turn the tempeh because it's nice and golden, getting all lovely and cooked. They look like tiny little burgers. They're so delicious. Now everything's mixed together, we can drizzle over our delicious dressing and then mix this all together. Top tip to get all of the dressing out of your jar is to put a little bit of hot water in at the end, and you can use hot water when you put the 2 tablespoons in. Shake it around and you should be able to get a little bit more out. I'm going to save that for when I dish it out onto the plates. This is seriously a dream lunch for me because it's the kind of thing that you can adapt depending on what veg you've got. So as long as you've got some kind of cold raw vegetables that you can eat. So things like cabbage, carrots, cucumbers, peppers, tomatoes. You can make this very easily, and the dressing is something that you can use for so many dishes. Like that is a kind of fail-safe dressing that I make for any salad. It always tastes delicious. Tahini is a key ingredient to get if you are vegan and if you're trying to stay vegan, because it's really creamy and it has that lovely creamy texture. And it's got all of those delicious good fats in there for you as well. And oh my God, I love tempeh. I don't understand. I just think it's so good. Like Alex doesn't love it, and I know some people are unsure of it, but really do try cooking it and frying it and making it all crispy. It's so meaty, the texture, because it's really compacted. It's very different to tofu, even though they're both made from soybeans. But to me, it just feels like I'm eating a lovely burger. So this is a super, super healthy, high protein, delicious lunch or dinner that's very easy to make. If you were just making this by yourself, not filming, it'd probably take you like 10-15 minutes, but it's just so, so quick and easy, and yeah, one that I absolutely love. So for dinner, we're making vegan paella. This is just a vegan take on your classic paella that you'd have in Spain. I love it. When we go to Spain, to Mallorca, it's one of my favorite foods, and I'm making one swap. I'm having ackee instead of jackfruit because I bought a multi-pack. I've had ackee before, but I've not cooked with it at home, so this is kind of a fun experiment for me, but you can use jackfruit like the recipe says. So let's get cooking. I'm doing it a bit earlier. Did I say that already? Because the lighting, it's nice and sunny right now, so I'll just eat this later on, but I'm gonna cook it now. I even have a ginormous Spanish onion for this recipe. I'm only gonna use half of it though, but yeah, this is a big Spanish onion. So let's chop this bad boy in half. And then 1 red pepper. And 1 yellow or orange pepper. A red chili, thinly sliced. around 200 to 300 button mushrooms halved, or quarter the big ones. Now, if you don't love mushrooms, feel free to leave these out. You could swap it for any vegetable. Courgettes or aubergines would be a good swap. In a large pan, I wish I had a paella pan, but I don't, so this is the one I'm going to use. And then chuck in our onion and pepper. And we'll fry these for about 5 to 10 minutes until softened. Now, as I cook this recipe, I'm not claiming that this is the most authentic version of paella. If you're Spanish, please leave your tips down below. I'd love to hear them. This is basically a make it vegan alternative. So I'm trying to make it simple, I'm trying to make it accessible, and I'm trying to share how delicious paella is and the flavors that come with it without using any animal products. And that is the goal here. We are celebrating diversity in our food. So nice that the lighting today is allowing me to film on the Aga. Usually that's why I don't cook here, because it's too dark. But today it's nice and sunny. Now we can add our chili, 3 garlic cloves. This garlic mincer from Joseph & Joseph is the best thing in the world. And then fry this for 1 to 2 minutes, starting to smell amazing. Now we can add in 2 teaspoons of our smoked sweet paprika. This is going to make it taste and smell divine. And then fry this for another 1 to 2 minutes, mixing everything together. Now we can add in everything else, starting with our mushrooms and tomatoes. This is around 4 chopped tomatoes and 200 to 300 grams of button mushrooms. And then for a tropical twist and a kind of meat replacement, I'm going to use ackee, or you can use jackfruit. Now add in 300 grams of paella rice, along with a litre of vegetable stock, and our special ingredient of saffron. If you don't have a lot of money, don't buy saffron because it's very expensive. I'm going to put a good pinch of that in there. And then mix all of this in together. Give it a good stir. Oh, look at that colour. Season everything with salt and pepper. Bring this to a boil, and then once boiling, you can reduce the heat to a simmer and cook for 15 to 20 minutes until all of the liquid is absorbed and the rice is tender. Now that it's nearly cooked, you can add in your peas. Just pour these on top and then sort of nestle them in there, not to disturb the rice on the bottom too much. And the reason we do this is because you want the peas to be nice and green. If you put them in at the start, they'll go not green. Finish with a squeeze of fresh lemon and a sprinkle of parsley. And you can serve up with some fresh lemon wedges too. Now let's take a nice big spoonful. Look at that. So here it is. I have dug in just to get a little plate for a video, like an Instagram, but it's like eating the rainbow, and I wish you could smell it. And having ackee in there is a really nice addition. I love experimenting with foods and trying my favorite things like jackfruit and ackee really replace that meaty texture that you get from things like prawns or seafood that you often traditionally have in paella. So when you're making vegan alternatives, often you have to get creative and make them non-traditional, but really embrace and celebrate the delicious original food that you're inspired by. And this is what the ackee looks like. You know, all these different fruits and vegetables and plants, it's so good for you to be eating a variety of plants in your diet, and this is just another way to add that in, to try something new and to have that variety that's really good for your health, for your gut microbiome, for your well-being in general, to have a variety and not stick to the same fruits and vegetables. So I'm gonna end the vlog there. I'll have this for dinner. I'm just trying it now. It's like late afternoon now. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Let me know what you thought of the format. I had a variety of just casual filming and more like recipes in depth, showing you how to make things. I'm experimenting a bit more with how I'm filming stuff, so I hope you appreciate the added effort, and let me know what your favorite versions are, when I just completely vlog it, don't put any effort into just, you know, filming stuff and setting my microphone up, or if you really appreciate the kind of step-by-step recipes. I would love to hear your feedback, because I can take that on board for future recipe videos and future What I Eat in a Weeks. If you want more recipes like this, of course, lots of these are featured in my cookbook, Make It Vegan, so I'll leave a link to it down below. You can get it in Waterstones and you can get it online. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe for more videos like this one. I'll leave some playlists as well for you for more similar What I Eat in a Weeks, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.